Pronto, Vincenza.
Pronto, Randy, and welcome everyone to the 22nd episode. Can you believe it? 22.
Wow.
22nd episode of the Pronto podcast. And this is our lifestyle podcast where we talk about all the beautiful things life has to offer: fashion, self-care, motivation, inspiration, favorite memories. I mean, just Everything. I love it. Welcome, everyone. We're so excited to be back. It has been a little while because we've been a little busy, but we are so excited to get right back at it. And how have you been, Randy?
Really good, Vincenza. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Do you like my shirt?
I love it.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could see. It has skulls on it.
Halloween, right?
That's right. Festive for the Halloween season. So tomorrow is officially Halloween.
Yep.
Tonight is mischief night. And I just felt like I was like, oh, I love this holiday because I don't usually get to dress up anymore like I used to because I'm so busy. I don't get to go anywhere. I just work. But I had this shirt in my closet and I was like, oh, I'm wearing it. And do you know, I've had this shirt for like maybe over a decade.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Long time.
It looks current.
A long time. I'm a firm believer that fashion always comes back.
certain pieces, right?
Certain pieces. That's right. So very festive. Do you like Halloween, Randy?
I like to watch the kids, but I don't like to get dressed up.
Okay, get dressed up. So no Halloween parties for you this year?
No.
Do you I don't know if you get a lot of trick-or-treaters that knock on the door or pay a visit at the house.
We have a neighborhood that was consists of 16 homes, and it's far apart, and there's no street lights.
Okay, so you don't get many.
We get the really little kids. Parents bring them. Right?
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah. I think that I don't remember the last time I actually went trick-or-treating because it's been so long, but I love visiting my parents' house and the trick-or-treaters that would ring the doorbell. Yeah. I love that, especially all the little ones in the neighborhood. So I love it. I just I don't get to be a part of it as much, but because I'm usually working.
Do you do anything Halloween. At work?
Just we're festive, but nothing crazy. We're not I wish our Italian restaurant was known for a Halloween an event, because that would be fun. But unfortunately, we are very slow during the Halloween season. I want to say like the Halloween weekend. We're the weekend before Halloween. We're very slow, but then after that, we start to pick up because I get it. We're not a place that people really feel comfortable dressing up in Halloween costume, full get-ups, because we're more of a nicer restaurant. But we have some occasional like pumpkin like shirt or something orange, but nothing too crazy. So
we close the salons at like 6 o'clock.
Close early. So it's because people are out and about, whether they're trick-or-treaters visiting, their house or their neighborhood, or they're out with their little ones, or they're at a Halloween party. So, but anyway, other than Halloween, what has been new?
I was in Charleston.
Okay.
It's really a beautiful city. You ever been there?
I think I've been there once.
Yeah.
Once, and it was for a wedding, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, L'Oreal has an event every year that they bring lead salons to, and we discuss what's going on in the industry. And so it's really nice.
Oh, very neat. How long were you there for?
Just 3 days. Yeah.
Okay, just enough.
Enough. Yeah.
Just enough. Anything new?
The trend is online sales are going up. And, retail and salons are kind of minimal.
Okay. Yeah. So, do you with I guess you would say trips like this, and when you go to events, or I guess you would call it is an event, right?
Yeah.
If you go to an event like that, do they ever talk about the trends of hair?
No, it's more like a business event. Like they talk about like the trends they're seeing, like between visits and the economy, and
Okay. Very nice. Well, that's fun.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Really, it's fun because you get to talk to other successful salon owners across the country. So
cool. Awesome. Well, I've been really busy. I would love to share with you what I've been up to. If you're interested. I have been yes, even though the Halloween weekend is a little slow, I've been very proactive at the restaurant. So if you don't know, I own and operate an Italian restaurant in North Wilmington called V&M Bistro. And I've been extremely proactive with implementing all of these new, I guess you would say, events, deals, just specials, um, drink specials, food specials, you name it, just to kind of drum up business. I noticed that things have been settling a little bit, and I'm like, okay, we need to drum things up, especially that we're going into the holiday season.
Yeah.
So we are starting new pasta night with Kelly Vale and Nick Bucci. So if you don't know who Kelly Vale and Nick Bucci are, they are an amazing duo, performers, acoustic, and Kelly is an incredible vocalist. Great. The two of them together, phenomenal. We love them at the restaurant. Our clientele absolutely adores them. And I said, okay, well, we're going to give you guys your own night because we love your energy.
Wow.
So pasta night, it's a salad and pasta entree deal, $16.95. That's a deal. But you get to enjoy some incredible entertainment by Kelly Vale and Nick Bucci. So that's every Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. starting this Wednesday. You have to stop by.
Wow. Yeah. You know, the pizza business is picked up at football season.
Is that a question?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, because I don't know if that's true. Baseball season, I've noticed, because the Phillies, sad for the Phillies, not, going further, but it was a good ride. And while they were every time there was a home game or a game in general, we noticed our takeout sales would pick up for like the hour before the game. Once the game started, crickets.
Okay.
Because everybody's watching the game.
You're not open Sundays, right?
No, we're not open Sundays. But what was nice about baseball was any day.
Yeah.
So it was a Tuesday, it was a Wednesday, it was a Friday, it was a Saturday. It didn't matter. But we enjoyed the Phillies, making it far. Now we're back to the Eagles. So hopefully, with the Eagles doing well and they continue to do well, hopefully people will wanted to get some takeout from V&M Bistro.
And the best pizza.
Thank you.
I'm a pizza connoisseur.
Oh, you are now.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Well, I definitely, speaking of all, food, because, Randy and I love to talk about food. We are so excited about our guest today because we have a foodie, a restaurateur, and just an all-around great person that's joining us today. So we're really excited. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome our guest. We are so excited to welcome our guest for today, a social entrepreneur, Jason Aviles. Jason Aviles is the owner of FLYOGI, an international mobile yoga company that facilitates holistic development programs within schools, corporate environments, and communities. He is a co-owner of Green Box Kitchen, an award-winning fast casual vegan restaurant, and project director of Wilmington Green Box, which is a 501c3 nonprofit program that develops teens into skill change makers while providing communities access to healthy food. Please welcome Jason Aviles. Jason!
Hey, Jason.
How are you? Hold on one second. Make sure we can hear you.
I think you're muted.
Oh, no, we can't hear you, Jason. You could hear us though, right? All right. We can't hear you. So we're going to try to see if we can work through the technical difficulties. Just give us a moment to make sure that we can work through the technical difficulties with your sound. And we might have to let you go and bring you back in. So hang tight. We're gonna bring you back in a moment. So hang tight with us. I know always something that happens when there's a live broadcast or live filming. We just go along with the flow. But I'm really excited to talk to Jason.
Yeah, me too.
Super excited to talk to him. I mean, we Randy and I always talk about different styles of cuisine that's in the area. We always talk about different places, not just in Delaware, but also in the tri-state area that we have visited. And we always like to share, with each other about our different experiences. Oh, you should check out this restaurant, or you should check out that one. But we were really excited that Jason was joining us today. Oh, here we go. What are we saying? We back? No, we can't hear you. No, we can't hear you. You're going to come back? All right, he's going to come back. We'll figure it out. I know, always something that happens, but he's going to talk about Green Box Kitchen and obviously FLYOGI, which I'm really, really interested in, because I've never heard of it before. Well, I have heard of obviously yoga, but I've never heard of this before, FLYOGI. So I'm really excited to for him to just kind of update us on what he does and what is FLYOGI, but also talking about Green Box Kitchen.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Green Box Kitchen?
Yeah, they had a place in Deco.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it. It's funny because I was thinking about it. I was like, why do I feel like I've seen Green Box Kitchen at Deco? So I was right when I was thinking that at first. Okay. No, I haven't had a chance to visit Green Box. Have you had a chance to try any of their
really
product?
Yeah.
Oh, you did. Yeah. Okay. Have you tried their juices?
I tried the juices, the bowls.
The bowls. Okay. The acai bowls.
Yeah.
Oh,
really good.
Right up my alley. I love acai bowls. I love juices. I love pressed juices. So I'm very excited to check out Green Box Kitchen, but I did remember seeing it briefly in Deco. So for those of you who don't know, Deco is located in the DuPont building. It's like I want to say it's a really nice food court. That's the best way to describe it. Yeah. But it's not just, it's casual, and it is fast casual, but it's much nicer because there's a nice bar. It's actually a full service bar, where they offer happy hour and they have events. And then there's this area which looks like a lounge where they actually rent it out for private events and fundraisers. And it's really nice. Yeah. There's a nice coffee shop that Randy likes to always
Spark.
That's right. You always like to get your coffee there. So it's really a nice food court. I love the sushi place there.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites. I love what's the name of the sushi place, Randy? Do you remember? It's escaping me, but the sushi location in Deco, and the gentleman that owns it, he's been around for a very long time. I remember reading an article, and the name is escaping me, but it's excellent. The sushi location at Deco, phenomenal. Maybe it'll come to me as we keep talking. But I always go and get a poke bowl, or I get a California roll, or a rainbow roll. I love everything. So I've always liked to take advantage of visiting Deco. I've had a chance to check out other of their locations because they do have like pop-ups.
Yeah. I think their stew and I can't remember the name. The hoagie store. And
okay.
Ice cream.
Okay.
Bardea pizza.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Connie's waffles.
Okay. I've seen that one. I've seen that.
Waffles.
I've seen that one before. Yeah. They have a variety of cuisine. It's a really nice selection. They have a variety of cuisine. So I really love the options. Let's just say, really love the options that they offer at Deco. Do you remember how long ago Green Box Kitchen was in there? Was it a long time ago? More recently? I know Jason would know the answer.
Probably a year.
Okay.
A year ago.
Okay. Gotcha. I always like to see the new pop-ups that show up there. But let's talk about Market Street for a second, and all of the new restaurants that are
Market Street's hot.
Right. And I love, it's not just restaurants, it's small businesses. And that's what I really appreciate, that they're still giving love to small businesses. And that's really important, because I do believe that small businesses really are the heart of any community. Right. And it's important to support your small businesses in your neighborhood, because they will support you as well. So it all works hand in hand. And I think that has been the key to the success of Wilmington, is that they're continuing to support small business owners.
And art. There's a lot of art galleries on Market Street.
Oh, yes. And I believe they just opened up a bookstore that I forget the name of it, but it was featured, I believe, on the it was featured in Out and About magazine. So I remember that reading it, and I'm like, oh, this is so great. They're continuing to feature small business owners, and I really appreciate that.
I think the trick is they're building a lot of apartments, and people are living downtown as opposed to like working downtown and leaving after 5. So you have a great Jason.
I feel like I hear you. No. Oh, no, we were just, I wonder, can you take off the headset and see if we can hear you? I don't think we try that. No.
Because we were talking before.
I know. Yeah. So right before we started, we always do a test. And
can you hear me now?
We can hear you. We're going to make this work. Woo!
Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me just try, because let me just try to do something. Let's see if I just. right away. Hold on one second.
Okay, we could still hear you for
Can you
sure.
hear me? Can you still hear
Yes.
me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
All right. So I'll just
yay.
use one. All right. Perfect.
Hey, listen, we didn't give up on you, so thanks for not giving up on
Thank
us.
you.
We've been just chatting up a storm,
Yeah.
talking about
Yes,
your
I heard.
obviously you heard.
Yes.
I know but anyway, without
Yeah.
further ado, welcome. So excited, so honored to have
Thank
you
you.
on the
Thank you.
show. We talked about Green Box Kitchen. We talked about FLYOGI. We talked about you're the project director of your 501c3 nonprofit organization. And you are an award-winning restaurant owner. This is huge.
Yes.
Big congratulations to that. So
Thank you.
let's break it down. All right. What is
Absolutely.
FLYOGI?
So, FlyYogi is an international mobile yoga company that provides mindfulness, meditation, and yoga instruction to kids in schools, to adults in corporate environments, and communities at large. So, we bring yoga, mindfulness, and meditation to you. So, no matter what the environment or no matter what the setting is, we can accommodate your needs and make sure we check off all your boxes.
Wow.
Excellent. And yoga is already so healthy for any individual. I mean,
Absolutely.
Randy, you believe in that. Yoga is
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
wife's a yoga instructor.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know more than anyone.
Right. Now, are you a yoga instructor as well?
Yes, I've been teaching yoga professionally for over 10 years.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, so I became a yoga instructor before I even thought that I wanted to create the company. And I found yoga through attending a consciousness-based education university in Iowa called Maharishi University of Management. And it's the university where transcendental meditation was brought to the States. This is the same
Wow.
meditation technique that Oprah practices, Ellen practices, the Beatles, Russell Brand, Russell Simmons, you name it. And I spent 3 years there, and I created a bachelor's degree program in youth development and social change. And I met a brahmachari and a swami from India, and he basically put me under his wing, taught me the lifestyle of yoga. It changed my life. In less than 6 months, I lost 100 pounds.
Wow.
And that became the creative
Wow.
solution that I wanted to bring to people to help them live a better quality of life.
Wow.
Wow, what a story.
Wow.
Wow, that hits home for you. So these
Yeah.
FLYOGI obviously hits home for you, and it's more than just a business. This is a lifestyle for you. And
Absolutely.
you walked in those shoes of someone who saw and experienced the benefits of yoga.
Absolutely.
And I love that you want to pour into others now.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
what you've learned and information you've received and how powerful that is. And I appreciate that you realize and recognize that power that you have and that you want to give it and pour into others, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. I love that you also well, actually I do have a question. Are you, because we're going to talk about Green Box Kitchen.
Right.
Are you a vegan?
Yeah. So I've
Okay.
been vegan for about 12 years now.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Green Box Kitchen is a fast casual vegan restaurant. So that was something I was curious about, but I want to talk about Green Box Kitchen. So give us a little background on it, and when did it started? What was the initiative, or what was the driving force? And congratulations on that Best of Delaware award.
Yeah. Thank you. So the restaurant officially launched in October of 2019. What started the restaurant, what inspired the restaurant, was our 501c3 project called Wilmington Green Box, which we train, educate, and employ teams from local community while providing neighborhoods categorized as food deserts with direct access to healthy food. What a lot of people don't know is that over 60% of Wilmington is categorized as a food desert. What a food desert means is you live more than a mile and a half away from direct access. Now, after I graduated my university in 2014 and I became vegan and I moved to downtown Wilmington, it really sucked that there were no healthy options in walkable distance. I mean, even to this very day, downtown Wilmington still does not have a grocery store. So I couldn't buy an apple, a banana, let alone some kale.
Wow.
Yet I was paying all this expensive rent to live downtown. And that became an issue. Then when I've done the research and I started to go into the neighborhoods, it got even worse. What I experienced was not only were these surrounding neighborhoods categorized as food deserts, But on top of that, there was an abundance of access to processed and healthy food. So when you combine no access to healthy food and an abundance of access to liquor stores, corner stores, Chinese restaurants, and processed foods, you have a very systematic, significant issue.
Mm,
So the nonprofit came about to use teams in this workforce development piece to bring healthy foods directly to the people in these surrounding neighborhoods and communities. And we did that for 3 years. And it was only after doing that work on the ground, informing and educating actual people that live in the neighborhoods and communities surrounding downtown Wilmington, that the demand for more healthier options increased, because now people are informed, they're educated, they get it, they understand the benefit of eating healthy, and they wanted more access to it. That solely was the reason why we launched the restaurant. It was to make sure that we could create something in their neighborhood that could give people direct access on a more consistent basis to these whole plant-based foods.
wow.
Wow.
And I'm glad that you share that insight with us, because you're right. Born and raised in Delaware in the restaurant scene, you're so right about that. When we are so behind when it comes to the variety of cuisine that's offered, let alone healthier options. And you're right. I'm so right about that, especially on Market Street, especially in downtown Wilmington. And I appreciate that you saw that need
Yeah.
and you took action. And we're not done yet. I mean, we were just talking about, we've seen so many small businesses open up on Market Street. This was, when we were chatting before, Jason, and we're still far behind. We need to keep moving forward, but at least
Absolutely.
we are taking those strides as a community, as a city, as a state, to continue to evolve. And I love that you are at the head the head of this with vegan options. So
Yeah.
let's talk about some vegan dishes. So
Yes.
for someone that, I love vegan food.
Yeah.
I'm not a vegan, but I love vegan food, and I've grown to really appreciate that there are some really delicious vegan dishes
Right.
out there.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that most people are maybe afraid of, or they're
Yeah.
turned off by. And let's talk about that. I'm sure you experience that often, because I feel that many people always say, oh, vegan, not good,
Right.
doesn't
Yeah.
taste good. So let's talk about that. How do you kind of coach someone through, to, I guess, try
Yeah.
vegan, dish?
Yeah, so what I try to do is, because the word vegan has become a trigger for a lot of
Right.
people, because the preconceived notion is that, if vegan is not going to taste good, right? So when people hear vegan that don't understand the lifestyle, the first thing that comes to mind is broccoli and kale and avocado and lettuce and tomato. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've come so far in the industry and lifestyle where you can get really good comfort, good texture, good flavor profile vegan foods. And we lead with making good food that just so happens to be vegan. In fact, our restaurant, we like to categorize it as plant-based food, which means that most of our menu items, in fact, over 90% of our menu items are made from whole food, fresh plant-based options. And I think that's the very key thing to kind of focus on here is like, how do you begin to incorporate and integrate more whole plant-based foods into your diet? Because the science shows us that the whole foods, the fresh fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, grains, legumes,
Mm-hmm.
these are the foods that have the highest nutritional mineral value, but at the same time are less taxing on the body. So
Right.
ideally, you want foods that are less taxing on the body, that's going to leave less gunk in the body, that's going to digest well. But when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to absorption, and when you talk about nutrition, when it comes to minerals, you want the absorption level to be high. So the thing about plant-based foods is that it's high in fibers, high in minerals, it's high in nutrients, and it digests very well in your body. So it doesn't leave any of that gunk or residue laying dormant in the system, which can create a fermented physiology, which creates an environment that can be prone and attract different diseases. So eating a plant-based whole food diet is a very easy way to live an optimal life and to be able to experience high levels of consistent, reliable, sustainable energy and vitality. And even if you don't adopt the vegan lifestyle as a whole, still it's important that you're incorporating these whole foods, these plant-based foods, these fruits, vegetables,
Right.
nuts, seeds, grains, legumes in your diet as the staple fundamental foundation of your lifestyle and approach to diet.
Right.
Yeah, and
Spot on. Spot
people
on.
don't realize the protein value. Like it's really off the charts in some plant-based
Mhm.
food.
Right.
Yeah, I would say the funny explanation I give, because that is a really big question in the plant-based culture. It's, where do you get your protein from, right? And my answer is I get my protein the same place that the gorilla gets his protein. I get my protein the same place that the elephant gets his protein. I get my protein from the same place that the monkeys get their protein from. Because the thing is that you can cut out the middleman and go directly to the source. And the source of protein that you're ideally looking for to put in your body is the amino acid. So your body actually doesn't process protein. It has to assimilate it and turn it into amino acids. And the most highly forming amino acid based foods are plant based foods. It's the reason why that the strongest animals in nature go to plant-based foods as a majority, of not solely of their diet, because the amino acid level is so high and it's easy on the digestion, so they get to absorb the nutrients that transfers and turns into energy so much quicker. It takes the average physiology anywhere between 5 to 7 days to assimilate and break down the protein structure into amino acids when we talk about red meat, chicken, or pork. So when we talk about plant-based foods, you're going to get that absorption of nutrients in literally a tenth of the time, immediately accessible to the body without having to break down the complicated protein structure. I'm sorry, but that's just the science to it.
No, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that. I love that you share that with us because it
Yeah.
is fascinating and it's very informative. And I actually agree with everything you said, Jason, because I'm a firm believer that you are who you what you put in your body.
You are.
It is, yeah, you are who what you eat.
Yeah.
And I do believe that that affects your health. And I live a life of being very conscious of what I'm putting in my body because of my health. I have an autoimmune disease, lupus,
Wow.
and
Wow.
I have learned for 12 years battling lupus that if I abuse my body as far as putting bad foods or just not good foods, not wholesome food in my system, my my lupus reacts. The inflammation
Wow.
is just out of control. But what I've learned through trial and error, when I start to practice a healthier diet, and the key word is practice, I've seen the results are so much better. I feel better. I feel more energized. And I like to practice a vegan diet. I do eat fish, I do eat chicken, but I prefer to practice more vegan options, incorporating more vegan options in my system or in my body because I've seen the results. I feel the results. So, and it's hard, sometimes people may not understand that unless they're going through it themselves. But I agree with you. When you said that you lost over 100 pounds by just like changing what you're putting in your system, obviously you had yoga in your life, which was the best medicine, in my opinion. Yoga is the best medicine out there. Everyone should be doing it. But just making sure that you're putting wholesome, good food in your body, fruits and vegetables. That's very important. I mean, look at that. Look,
Yeah.
doesn't that look delicious? And that's all
Yeah.
vegan.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about what you're seeing here, our smoothies, that smoothie right there is called I Need a Vacation. And it's made from fresh pineapple juice base,
Mm,
frozen strawberries, frozen pineapple, and frozen banana. No artificial sweeteners, no syrups, no added sugar, no water, no ice, just 100% fruit and fresh fruit juice. Even that waffle, that is a gluten-free, plant-based vegan waffle that's made from a
mm,
chickpea flour. Our maple syrup is organic gravy maple syrup, the best stuff out there. Organic blueberries, organic strawberries, organic plant-based butter. And then the acai bowl, which is made from an acai base, which is a purple fruit that's very simple to blueberry, that's found in South America, that's high antioxidants. So The base there is topped by granola that we get baked and shipped to us exclusively with bananas and strawberries and blueberries and agave drizzle if you're looking for a plant-based sweetener that comes directly from a cactus, and of course is 100% organic. So the great thing about our food options is that not only is the food good for you, but it has to taste, and it does taste absolutely delicious. And I'm not just saying that. Like if you go into Google and you type in Green Box Kitchen, we have a 5-star rating from the point we've opened to right now to date. And you can read the reviews for yourself. I mean, people are really happy, not just with the food, but the but the customer service and how much information they gain when they come into our space and they're educated about our food options and how they make such a positive difference in your body. And I want to take a moment to say I commend you for your mindfulness and your attentiveness to your diet and your lifestyle. And you're absolutely right. One of the things that I experienced was I was born with asthma. So whenever I would eat processed foods, it would immediately cause mucus buildup and inflammation buildup in my lungs, which would dramatically affect my sleep, my heart rate, my breath rate, and just my overall health. And I was completely unaware that this was happening. And I didn't know how to address these symptoms at the root until I started to understand that diet plays a huge role in how you feel and how well your body is able to recover and deal with instances where it's facing viruses and disease. And I also want to make this point that in order to experience comprehensive, well-balanced health, we have to take a holistic approach, which is why I fell in love with yoga, because the diet and the physical body is very important to attend to and to understand how to attend to. But then we also have to be mindful of stress. We also have to be mindful of our emotional health. We also have to be mindful of our mental health, right? Because if our mental health is off, but our physical health is up, the negative result of the mental health being off is going to affect our physical health. If our emotional health is not in good standing, but our mental health is high, our emotional health is going to affect our mental health. So true growth and true health is experienced holistically. So yoga gave me a systematic approach to addressing these different areas. Mindfulness and meditation addresses the mind. The yoga asanas, the poses, the postures, the stretches, and diet helps affect and directly attend to the physical body. And then your emotions, right? Especially as men, it's very important that we're in tune and we're in touch with our emotions and we feel safe and secure in being able to express them, whether that's through seeking out help through therapy or getting counselor or mentorship. So these things have all contributed to not just the physical weight that I lost, but the intrinsic inward weight that I lost that led to me just feeling that much more lighthearted, that much more energetic, and that much more positive in terms of my outlook and perception about life and my relationship to it.
Yeah,
That's
no,
beautiful.
yes. I mean, it's so true though. And anybody that that disagrees with you, they're wrong but you know what? Maybe they have to figure it out on their own. And I'm a firm believer that, yoga, best medicine, and practicing a healthy diet, a holistic approach, like a vegan diet. And you don't have to go all the way. You don't have to beat yourself
Exactly.
up. I always tell
Nope.
people, don't beat yourself up. Don't, torture yourself. It shouldn't be. It should be something that you practice every day, and you'll get good at it once you start, trying different things like the juice or the gluten-free vegan waffle with the berries on top. I mean, that looked delicious. I mean,
It's so good.
those are good foods. I mean, they're good food and they're not processed and they're made well. And I know that I've heard, and maybe you can come give me some insight on this
Absolutely.
about vegan chicken.
Yeah.
People are very, what is that? Or vegan meats. So let's talk about
Yeah.
that, because I've heard some mixed reviews about, the vegan
Yeah.
meats that you have to be careful with. And I personally don't like to eat vegan meats. I love the fruits and vegetables and the legumes and the beans. I like that side of the vegan diet. But let's talk about the vegan meats a little bit. I know that there's some
Yes.
negative feedback about that. Let's talk
Yeah.
about that. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So thank you for bringing this up because this is a huge topic, and
Mm-hmm.
it's played a huge influence into why our restaurant does not introduce vegan meats, and we focus on whole food, plant-based menu items. So when we talk about the vegan meats, the way I look at it and the way I treat it is that it's vegan comfort food, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's processed. Most of this stuff is man-made, and it isn't made from meat, but it's made and designed around simulating the texture and the flavor profile of meat.
Mm.
So for me, let's say if I'm watching a game on Sunday, right? And I'm with the boys, and I'm the only vegan there, and everyone's having a good time eating their pizza and wings, and I want to fit in, and for whatever reason, I want some taste and texture that resembles meat. Then I may go a vegan meat route, right? But the way I look at it and the way I treat it as is this is a treat, right? This isn't something that my diet can revolve around because it's not sustainable. It
Mm.
doesn't have the nutritional and mineral value that natural foods does because it is not natural. It was
Mm.
made man-made. It is processed. And
Mm-hmm.
again, the whole idea of it is to give someone who decides to go vegan or plant-based another option that resembles the texture and flavor profile of something that they perhaps
Right.
be missing. At the end of the day, nothing can replace nor mimic nor even get close to nature. The easiest way I like to put living a healthy life, just in total, is to get as close as possible to nature. When
Mm.
it comes to your foods, try to eat as many natural forming foods, foods that are made from the earth, foods that are provided
Mm-hmm.
to you by nature that have the least and minimum amount of processing as possible. If you were to just leave out the processed foods and how much you eat and how frequent you eat, just that in and of itself without being vegan would transform your
Right.
health radically, right? And then even when we talk about, skincare, we talk about hair care, we talk
Yeah.
about all these different products, right? I think simplicity is beauty. Like nature is perfect on a molecular cellular level and even on a
Mm.
surface level. So ideally, we want to be as close to nature as possible. We want to breathe fresh air. We need sunlight. We need to be able to ground ourselves at time, whether it's getting close to natural bodies of water, or whether it's, taking our shoes and our socks off and we're barefoot in nature. I mean, that may be a little shame for some people, but like all of these different things are super important. And
Mm.
the vegan meat substitute stuff, it's really just for like entertainment purposes only. It's
Okay.
not something that you want to like fill up the bulk of your diet with. It's a
Right.
treat. It's for comfort purposes, and really is to be able to socially engage with other people who may have a different lifestyle than you
Yeah.
do.
Right. And that's a good point you
Yeah.
make, that because people don't know and they think they know, but whatever they see on social media, whatever they see, maybe that's being marketed at the store. Oh, vegan chicken. And it tastes like chicken, but it's vegan and you don't know if it's good or not. And I've heard so many mixed reviews. I agree with you. And I'm glad you said that. And what if it comes, it's still processed, so it's
It's
not the
Yes.
best, but it's a quick fix. It's for every once in a while.
Yes.
And I like that you said that.
it's similar to non-alcoholic beer, right? So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right, because some of the non-alcoholic drinks and beverages that exist now are full of sugars,
yeah.
full of sugar, and that's not
Yeah.
good for you. So,
Jason, a year
Yeah.
ago, I went back to school to get my bachelor's degree. You know, I got approached from L'Oreal, but the reason I'm saying this, I just completed a nutritional class,
mhm.
and
Wow.
uh, that was fabulous. And I couldn't help but thinking, why don't we teach this in grade school to
Mm.
kids? The body is such a fascinating, machine.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
one thing that they said that if you go in a grocery store, 97% of items in the grocery store contain high amounts of sugar.
Mhm.
They're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember my yoga instructor, he told me that the body is the one home you'll live in for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
No matter where you go or what you do, you take you and your body with you. So you have to take care of it, right? And
Yes.
I just came into this awakening, later in my life, having to reverse, and thank God I had the opportunity to reverse because things didn't get that bad. But the process to recalibrating and
Mm-hmm.
readjusting and transitioning, because the addiction to sugar and to these processed ingredients that are being built by design into these foods are
Mm-hmm.
highly addictive.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's been proven that,
Yes.
sugar creates the same dopamine effect as heroin or as crack or as cocaine, right? So the withdrawal detox process, if you were to just try to give up sugar, the first thing is that you'll notice is that sugar's in everything.
Right.
It's in the bread that you eat. It's in the crackers and
Mm-hmm.
the cookies that you eat. It's in the beverages that you drink. It's
Right.
even in some of these waters, right? It's literally in everything. So that becomes the first part of the process. Just trying to find foods that don't have artificial sugar in it. And what you'll find is that all those foods are within the 3% compared to the 97%, which is mainly found in your produce aisles, right? Foods that are
Yeah.
close to nature. And then the second part is being able to endure and go through the withdrawal and detox process once you try to give up sugar. So what I did was I did a lot of fasting. And what fasting did for me was it gave my body's internal systems a break,
Mm-hmm.
and it allowed me in a supportive environment to go through the withdrawal, to go through the detox system, to experience the flu-like symptoms, the fevers, the headaches, the chills, the shakes. I mean, all of this because I made a choice to give up these processed foods. So you're absolutely right. Like this has to be an integral part of our education system,
Mm-hmm.
and this is why, because the education system hasn't figured out how to prioritize it yet, I'm going into these schools and I'm talking to these kids and working with these kids and working
Mm-hmm.
with the teachers directly to inform them and to educate them and to also give them the experience. Because now I can say, walk into a green box kitchen where nothing is processed and everything is made from whole foods, and try that waffle or try that smoothie or try
Right.
that chickpea tuna sandwich or try that grain bowl or try that salad or try that acai bowl, because I know not only is it made with love, but it's made by foods that are designed and revolved around natural sources that are as close as possible to nature.
Right. And you're breaking down that wall that many, because they just don't know, are fearful. I know so many people
Mm.
are almost afraid to try vegan options
Right.
because they just don't know.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Ooh, vegan, not good," or "Ooh, I don't think that's fake." No, educate yourself about it. And I love that
Yeah.
you're getting into schools and talking to the younger generation, because that's where it starts. They start developing those habits at a young age, and you have to try to catch them even
Yeah.
younger than the teenager years
Yeah.
of developing good habits, and it starts from education. So let's talk about your nonprofit, because I know
Yes.
we obviously can keep talking about Green Box Kitchen,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
about the nonprofit and what you do, and what, where how can people find more information about it. So tell us a little bit more about the nonprofit organization.
Yeah, so the nonprofit, again, it's what everything came from, and there's so many things that it does. The first thing it does is it creates actual employment opportunities for teens. So
Mhm.
these teens are not working for free; they're being paid, and oftentimes I tell them that they're being paid more than me, and they don't understand that. But it's sometimes, most of the time, it's the truth. That's the first thing. The second thing is that our teams run 100% of the daily operations. So when they're operating that tri bike and it's filled with bottled cold press juices and fresh foods, and they're going into their neighborhoods and the surrounding communities, kind of introducing these healthy food items to people. They run everything from the item being sold, the POS that sells it, and even making deposits at the end of the day, so that way they can understand sales analytics and daily operations and how numbers and trends affect business. And the reason why is because another thing that we've seen that is missing in traditional educational systems is entrepreneurship and
Mm-hmm.
understand finances and how to run a business by experience. Because
Right.
we all know as entrepreneurs and small business owners that, you couldn't put this thing in a book and teach it. It's something that you have to experience because there's so many nuances that really kind of speak to the learning lessons that you acquire when you're actually doing it. So we put these teens in a space and environment where they are doing the work. They understand product placement. They understand product development. They understand sales. They understand customer service. They understand sales. They understand how to manage cash, how to look at transition, and look at trends, and all this type of stuff. The third part is that, and we just introduced this past year, is that we're growing food now. So this
Mm-hmm.
past year, we harvested right over here in North Wilmington. We have some land where we have 12 raised beds that are all 12 feet by 6 feet. And we
Wow.
harvest everything from watermelons to cucumbers to squash to corn to herbs to berries to beets to cucumbers to tomatoes. And what we're learning now is that incorporating and integrating the teens in the growing process literally teach them how to go from seed to sale.
Mm.
So they're part of this entire habitual cycle that is an ecosystem in a model that we can replicate for good health in communities, especially communities like I was talking about earlier that suffer from these food desert issues. And this
Mhm.
is so essential because growing your own food is so empowering because you're taking a very important part of your life into your hands. And I
Mhm.
think if every block had a community garden,
Oh.
every
Mhm.
block could be fed. And
Oh,
not
yes.
just fed when we talk about, processed canned and prepackaged foods. We're talking about foods that come right out the dirt. They're as close
Mhm.
to nature as possible. And that's going to nourish your entire being from your
Yep.
mind to your body on a cellular level. So we've been doing this work long enough to try to incorporate these different areas and aspects that cover enough ground so we make sure that the teens that are walking away from this experience get the opportunity to learn the whole picture, the bigger picture.
That's brilliant.
So brilliant. You're right. Brilliant. It really is because not only are these teenagers nurturing something that is growing, that's rewarding
Right.
in
Yeah.
itself. And
Yeah.
that's a healthy reward, we like to call it, right? Because they're nurturing something. Not only are they learning, but they're nurturing something that is growing. And that's rewarding. And now they're taking this item that they grew in a garden and then they're going to, I guess you would say, put it into a product that will be sold. And then there's another return. So that right there is coming full circle and it's so healthy and informative and it's life skills that they're learning the process from beginning to end and how also they can make a living or a business or whether it's just something they want to do for fun. It's very rewarding, but it's a healthy way of learning too. And I love that you're doing that. And I love that you're able to have this, offer this opportunity to teenagers. Now, is it just Delaware based
So
or
right now, yeah. So
okay.
right now we are Delaware based. So for the last 3 years, we've been working to really just like solidify the model. You run a restaurant, right? So you
Mhm.
know what it's like and how important it is to have your operations down pat, right? To
Yes.
have your SOPs in place, to
Yep.
really build out and solidify the infrastructure. So there's this consistency in the daily operation. So we've spent this time really just identifying and figuring out what infrastructure things need
Right.
to be in place so we can be able to scale.
Yep.
And that's the same thing that we're doing with the restaurant. So with the restaurant, our goal is to franchise.
Excellent.
We've been entertaining that for a little bit, but again, we want to focus home and really just solidify our operations, build out our SOPs, and understand exactly what we're doing on a very granular level. And the same thing goes with the nonprofit. We're doing that same work so we can be able to successfully scale and kind of bring these different opportunities and options to other communities, just like the Wilmington community that we know that this can make a difference in.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I was just
Yeah.
going to ask you what is next, but I heard it right there. The goal is to franchise,
Yeah.
Green Box Kitchen, grow the nonprofit outside of the state in the tri-state area, because
Yeah.
this is such a great, mission. The nonprofit. I love its mission and what it offers the younger generation. And that's what else? Well, I guess I should ask. I already know what's kind of next, but is there
Yeah.
anything else, Jason, that you want to mention that we did not touch on
Yeah.
regarding Green Box Kitchen, the nonprofit organization? Was there anything else you wanted to touch on?
Yeah, there's one project that I'm working on right now as we speak, and
Okay.
we're almost 4 weeks in. And the name of the project is called the Urban Yoga Program.
Okay.
And what's unique about this program is that it's just for men.
Mm.
And in this urban yoga program, we are tackling a comprehensive, inclusive approach to giving men the tools and techniques that they need to live a better quality of life. And it's holistic in every sense of the word. So we're touching on mindfulness, we're touching on meditation, we're touching on physical exercise, we're touching on community building, we're touching on getting into and in touch with your emotions, we're touching on healing past and previous trauma so that way you can unpack these things that manifest and project barriers in your life, whether it be in your relationships, whether it be in how you parent, or whether it be with how you show up for yourself. And it's an 8 week comprehensive course. Right now, we have roughly 15 men that are enrolled and committed to the course. It takes place Monday and Wednesday, so it's twice a week for an hour during each session. And it's been some of the most amazing work that I've ever done in
Wow.
my life. To be in a space where I can create safety and approachability for men who are eager and desire to become better, but don't know how,
Wow.
is very rewarding on so many levels. And I'm a father. I have a 4-year-old daughter, and she is absolutely beautiful.
Hmm.
And I know from growing up mostly in a single parent household how difficult it was for me, and how at the expense of suffering I had to learn very difficult life lessons to show up as the man that I am today for my daughter, and to be in an environment and to hold space for men who share those same experiences but want to be better, want to do better, want to see themselves in a different life,
Hmm.
is truly transforming. Like,
Right.
there isn't anything that I could use language wise to describe the experience. And matter of fact, right now I'm working with some people to document this and build content around this in some type of docu series format to really express to the general world like what's taking place in this space and how men are being positively, changed and transformed by this work.
Where's the
Yeah.
location, Jason?
So we're located right in the inner city. So we're on the corner of 7th and Washington. And a great thing to mention is that it's this program is being funded and powered by Wilmington Alliance. And I'm sure you guys know the friends over at Wilmington Alliance.
Hmm.
So, they bet on this program, and, they did what was necessary to make it happen. And we're facilitating the program out of their brand new space, the Artomat. In fact, I think they're having their ribbon cutting ceremony on November 14th, but it's
Hmm.
right on the corner of 7th and Washington. So that's a whole nother thing too. It's not in a desired part of the neighborhood, but because of that, the people there seeing this type of work being done and seeing men that look like them being held in a positive light and doing this work is creating a curiosity and interest in that community that I think is going to lead to long lasting sustainable change, especially for that part of the neighborhood. So yeah, there's so many things happening just from us being there and
Right.
being intentional and doing this work. And it's my most prideful possession right now.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Yeah. That
That's
sounds
awesome.
great.
Yeah, no, that's great. Wow, you're
Yeah.
very busy.
Yeah.
I mean, we thought we were busy.
Woo!
Jason's very busy. I love it. You're unstoppable.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Jason, we are the interview. Listen, it seems like we can talk for a longer than 1 hour,
Yeah.
and I love that because what you are saying is my ears are like, obviously I have the headset on me, but my ears are literally like wide open. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really good information. Like I love learning new things, even though I'm always practicing a vegan diet. I love learning new information. I love learning new resources, new tools, new skills. I'm always willing to be open-minded to learn and educate myself about something that's new and different. And I love that what you're doing. And you're not only serving the community by offering Green Box Kitchen in downtown Wilmington, but you're also serving the community by helping our younger generation. And that's, I think, the most impactful out of it all. And also offering, a resource for our men too. And, they need love too, right? Right, Randy?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
It's all about the ladies, right? But men deserve some love too. But
Yes,
and I
absolutely.
appreciate that you are, able to offer these, not just education, but also these resources and these tools to help grow. And even with FLYOGI, and that's really helpful too. And I love yoga, so that's the best. That's the best medicine. But Jason, as we start to conclude the interview,
Yeah.
I want to make sure that people know how to follow you. So list
Yeah.
all of these social media, the website, just kind of start, putting it out there because
Yeah.
people need to follow you. They need to sign up for, whether you have like a sign up list for Green Box Kitchen or
Yeah.
Profit or FLYOGI. So tell us, what is your social media?
Yeah. So if you're looking at anything Green Box Kitchen related, just go to greenboxkitchen.com.
Okay.
We have pickup, we have delivery, so we can deliver within a 5 mile radius from the restaurant, so we can handle all that. We're also getting into catering, so we do a lot of catering locally for like corporation and businesses that are looking for a plant-based option to complement some of their other options. So anything Green Box Kitchen related, go to greenboxkitchen.com, or if you're on Facebook or on Instagram, just type in Green Box Kitchen and everything will pop up. If anything yoga related is tied to FLYOGI, FLYOGI, you can go to flyogi.co, that's .co, or you can look us up on Instagram, on Facebook at FLYOGI, FLYOGI.
Excellent. Well, I wanted to make sure we got that social media out there because this is a lot of
Thank you.
information and it's coming from every different angle, right? And I just want to make sure people, that are listening, tuning in, or even tune in later, they're going to want to follow. They're going to want to figure out, okay, how can I get to know, find out more information about not just Green Box Kitchen, but also everything else that we spoke about on this podcast. So, as the traditional question, Randy and I like to ask all of our amazing guests before we conclude the interview. I have a question for you, Jason, and it is, if you could chat with anyone from the past or present, who would they be and why?
So right now, I'm on a mission to get connected back to Russell Simmons. I had met him in passing a long time ago in New York. And he's a man who shares a similar story, that comes from a similar background, and who has prioritized doing very similar work in his life. And he's still doing that remotely. And I would love to have a conversation with him about an opportunity to be mentored, to tap into existing networks that can support and take what I'm doing a step further. So that's a big one on my vision board
It's a good one.
2024 that I'm hoping to manifest. And yeah, I hope you can hear this some way,
Yeah,
one
that's
way,
a good
one way or another.
one.
I love it.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I hope he's hearing it too. And maybe you need to tag him in the post when we post this
Yeah.
on social media after we conclude the interview. Just tag him. I would tag him. Definitely tag him. You just
Yeah.
never know. It might happen in
You're right.
2023, sir. So you never know.
Right. I'm on his heels.
Okay.
He's gonna
there you
know
go.
one way or another.
I love it. love it. Jason, thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate
you.
it. And thank you for your patience before with the technical difficulties, but that's live filming, live podcasting for you. And, you know, the show must go on. And it was an incredible show, an incredible interview. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
And it was well worth the wait.
Perfect.
Thank
Perfect.
you.
All right. We'll see you, Jason.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
He was incredible.
Oh my gosh. You could just listen to him for hours, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I was looking at the time and I'm like, oh, it's 4:00. We need a wait, we're not done yet. We need more time. So we're over here flashing the production team, like, don't close the podcast. This is a really good interview. We want to go over time.
It's funny because every time we have a guest, I feel the same way. Like, the guests are so interesting.
Right.
I want to be their friends.
Yeah, no, he was great. Jason was awesome. I really appreciated all of the information he provided and educating us about vegan options and the difference between eating wholesome food and processed food, and also what he's doing in the community and how he serves the community. It's incredible. And I feel so blessed that we're able to offer a platform to individuals like him to be able to shine. Yeah. So thank you, Jason, and continued success. Yeah. And we have to go visit Green Box Kitchen.
Yeah, we'll go have a bowl.
Maybe we'll go right now. We're going to go now. All right. So we're going to go now. Thank you for joining us. Pronto, Randy.
Pronto, Vincenza.